Hello, guys. What's up? Welcome back to another Monday Unfiltered and Functional session. I am your host, Mandy, here with the lovely Sashi.
Hello.
And guys, we've got a really good topic today that I'm passionate about. We've talked about it before, we've teased about it before, and that's epigenetics, which is like a really kind of fancy word sounding a little maybe intimidating, a little sciency. But basically, if you take anything away from this conversation, it is that epigenetics is a way for you to empower yourself about your health. I've talked to a lot of people, whether they've been my clients or just side conversations or people I work with. And something I hear, especially with women, and I think especially growing up in the era we grew up with, like, I'm big boned. I was born that way. It's in my genetics. It runs in the family. A lot of people kind of either feel trapped by a diagnosis or by what their family as a whole kind of like looks like or their health is like. And it's just not true. It's just like a lie that keeps giving, honestly.
Cut it.
Seriously. What the reality is that epigenetics is just how your environment and the choices you make in your lifestyle literally influence how your genes are expressed in your daily life. So you're not stuck with a diagnosis. You're not stuck saying, oh, it just runs in my family. You have way more power than you think you do. They are not your genetic disposition that you were born with is not the genetic profile that you have to leave this physical plane with, which,
Oh, I love that.
yeah,
Wait, that's
hopefully
so
that doesn't
good. That
sound
was so
morbid.
good. Write that down. Oh
Yeah,
my God. Copyright that. That
copyright.
was really good.
But basically, you're like, okay, how the heck do I influence my genes to do what I want them to do so I'm not stuck with this, like, this is just how I am type thing? You guys are probably going to roll your eyes because we talk about it all the time, but food, stress, sleep, relationships, and that also means like friendships, family, just any relationships in general, how you move your body, what trauma do you have? And I'm not going to like jump off a psychological cliff here and dive into that, but we all have trauma in some way, shape, or form. Have you processed it? Have you dealt with that trauma? That will greatly influence your genes as well and your healing from that trauma. And I just want to kind of like get straight into the nitty gritty. And if anybody feels called out here, sorry, not sorry in the most loving way, because we want to have these conversations to inspire you to think differently and to advocate for yourself. And like,
Yeah.
okay, Sasha, so when I'm saying like people blame genetics all the time, I think you would probably agree with me that it just sounds like the easy way out because I also used to do this too. But have you had any personal experiences with your own clients or friends even where you've kind of had to have that heart to heart and be like, hey, no.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. With clients, with friends, with myself. With myself. The first one was with myself. It was being like, actually, no, like I don't need to subject myself essentially to that. Like just because this is what runs in the family. This is how I was born. This is the environment that I was around of like the chronic stress and this and that doesn't mean that or PCOS. If you're new here, I have PCOS. I speak about this very openly about the fact that my PCOS has never stopped me from doing anything that I ever wanted to do because I didn't let it stop me from doing anything that I wanted to do, being a competitive bodybuilder and all of that kind of fun stuff. And it's actually really interesting because I was having a conversation with, I'll give an example of a client and a friend. Client conversation was about PCOS. She didn't know that I had PCOS. And, she literally said in her coaching application to me when she applied to work with me, she said, I have PCOS and I feel like I've been letting it slow me down for way too long.
Mm.
And the second that we got on the call and like opened it up, I was like, hey girl, I don't know if you know this, but I have PCOS too. And her eyes were on her forehead. She was like, what? I had no idea. Like, that's crazy. Because you then like look at things that I've done, like with bodybuilding, the way that I grow muscle, the way that I can get super lean, which apparently with PCOS, like you're always bigger. And like just like these things that are very normalized about certain symptoms, diseases, genetics, things that get passed down because like my PCOS isn't from insulin, it's not from sugar, like it's something that I was born with and like just have, and maybe my mom has it now knowingly, like whatever. I don't know where it came from, but I have it. And after having that conversation with her, like she felt so much more empowered to change things because it is your actions that make the changes. It is the steps that you take with the food, with the stress. And one of the things on your list that you kind of touched on, but the mindset, like you keep telling yourself the story of it's my genetics, I was born with it, I'm just this way, I'm just this, I'm just
Mhm.
that. That's what you're always going to believe. Even if you do make changes, you're never going to see yourself differently because that's the story you're going to tell yourself. And now with a friend, I
Yeah.
had a friend that was like, I'm big boned, I'm big boned. She did everything that she possibly could to lose weight. She did lose weight. She looked incredible. And when like a hard time came around in her life, she spiraled right back into being big boned, which that's not a thing. It's fat.
No,
Like you're not big boned,
no.
it's fat. You got big fat on you. Like that's what it is. It's not big boned. And not saying it like that sounded mean, but like, but that's true. Like, it's not
It's
extra
not your
layers of
bones.
bone, it's extra layers of fat. It's extra
Mhm.
amounts of mass that just don't, that are sitting on your bones
Or inflammation, because
or
I think people
inflammation.
confuse the two. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Like it could not even be like actual fat. It could just be that inflammation, that like water weight that's being just held there. And we had this whole conversation of like, hey, you're not actually big boned. Like that's not a thing. Like you just have weight on you. And she's like, well, I don't eat a lot and I go to the gym. And I'm like, that's the problem. Like you're under eating, your body's under stress. And she was like, no, like my dad's also on the bigger side. I was like, you really want to look at your dad's diet? He has a freaking donut for breakfast, drinks like 3 cups of coffee a day, and has maybe one meal. Like you, okay, sure. Like
That's how you
let
stay stuck.
exactly, that's how you stay stuck. And it's crazy because even if you do make all the changes, unless you truly believe that you are the creator of your life, of your everything, of the life that you decide to live and the life that you decide to have for yourself, you will spiral as soon as something hits the fan, and something will always hit the fan. So like mindset is a huge thing there of like, no, I'm
Mhm.
not this. Like this is not me. This is not it.
Right. Not embracing that storyline that
No.
you've been more than likely you've been told your whole life.
But it's easier to embrace that in a very fucked up way of being like, well, this is just the cards that I was dealt. It's like, listen, all of us were dealt some sort of card that we're not crazy about. All of us
Mhm.
have something that we've had to work through, work on, go against, fix. It takes a lot to fix it. And it's harder to go through the fixing in the moment than to just be like, all right, well, this is just what I got, than to like figure out how to make it right. But where do you actually benefit from? Like, what do you benefit from going through the hardship and then coming out better on the other side and different on the other side, or just living a small life where you just blame everything on your circumstances?
Well, I mean, I think that's the difference with people. If we want to go with the card analogy, is it's like you're right, we all get dealt a certain hand of cards, and some people are like, cool, I've got these cards. I'm just gonna sit here with cards because this is what I have. So I guess that's it. And then other people are like, all right, let me learn the rules of the card game
Or
and
let
let
me
me
play my
learn
best
how
game.
to, yeah, change my hand, like pick up a
Yeah.
new card, put this one down. And that's the difference is I think so many people don't realize you can change. And this is something that's generational. It's just like passed down. Like how many times I know I've talked about before where like when I was little and I heard my mom say, "Oh, we have washerwoman arms. We've got these like big arms. They run in the family. We're just like these big Italian lady arms." And I'm like, "Oh shit. So like I'm gonna have like big arms. Like that's it, period." And I didn't want big arms, but like I didn't know any better because like we only know what we know from our parents. And if they don't change the tune, like then it's up to us. And we've got to
Yeah.
change the cycle, break the tune, change the cycle, change the tune, break the cycle, whatever.
All of the above. Just make something different. Make something different. And it's funny because for you, it was a physical thing that like your mom, with body wise. And my mom
Mhm.
also had like terrible body dysmorphia and would say things about her body where I would look at her and I'm like, all right, if that's not good enough, like how tiny do I have to be in order for
Right.
that to be good? But it was also like a really big, and still till this day, it's like a very big mentality thing. over here where it's like, well, this is just the way that I am. It's like, well, no, you're just choosing to be that way. Like you choose to be a reactive person. You choose to live in chronic stress. Like you make those choices, you make those decisions.
Ooh, I'm gonna say this
Am I
really
running too
slow.
far ahead? I'm
No, no, no,
sorry.
no, no. I just want to say this really slow. Not making any change is a choice. You're still making a choice. You're
You're
choosing,
choosing to not change.
you're choosing. Yeah. I hate when people are like, well, I'm not going to decide something. And I'm like, well, that's still a decision you made. Like you still decided to not do
Decide.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So isn't
So
that shitty? Like, shouldn't you just like decide to then do something different if you're already making a decision anyways?
right. Right. That's a whatever. I digress there, but it's I don't think it's really like the argument of do something because people are going to do whatever they're going to do anyway, but at least like we can share, hey, you don't have to not do anything if you don't want to. You can still do something. Cuz like I have always been as a child, I was always heavier. I was also, I grew up in an environment that wasn't extremely supportive to children. I know oh, maybe I haven't talked about it here, but like in our group calls before, I've talked about like I had one grandma that was not the nicest, that would say really not so nice names.
Oh yeah, you said that about
Yeah.
on one of our other podcasts on
Yeah.
this channel, I think though.
Okay. Yeah.
On my
So,
channel, not on your channel.
yeah. So I had that going on. And then, like, when I would go and visit my biological dad, he would literally give me, like, what are they, like the half, like the liter things of like chocolate milk to have in one day, the whole thing in a day, every time I went to visit. And like, I'm like 4 or 5 years old. I don't know anything. Someone gives you chocolate milk, you're gonna be like, heck yeah, I'm gonna get fucking chocolate milk drunk. But
You
like,
get chocolate wasted.
exactly. But that's I was so unhealthy as a kid. And I thought like, oh, this is just how I am. My grandma's sitting here calling me fat. Like, I guess I just drink chocolate milk like whole containers all the time. And by the time I actually became an adult and I was still like heavier, we're not going to call it big bone because I had extra body fat and I had a lot of
And that's what
inflammation.
it is. Like, let's
That
not excuse the fact that it's just fat.
it's I had extra fat and I had a lot of inflammation. And that's when I realized I'm truly not happy. Do I want to live? I'm at that point, I was 25-ish. And I was like, oh my God, I'm 25. Am I going to live the rest of my life feeling this miserable? That sounded terrible to me.
Scary.
Terrible. So scary. And that's like when I started making changes. I was also briefly talked about it. And I know you've talked about like your PCOS. I was diagnosed with PMDD, and they were basically like, yeah, you probably will have this for the rest of your life. And I have not had a symptom, a flare up, an
Thank
episode
God.
for 11 years now because of epigenetics, because I chose to change my lifestyle, because that's what caused the PMDD.
You change your lifestyle, you change your life.
Exact period.
You change your lifestyle, you change your life. You don't like something, you change it, it changes your life. That
Mm.
comes at a cost though. That comes at a cost though. Like,
That's an investment cost, in my opinion,
it
though.
is. It is. Even if that investment hurts initially. And it's funny that you say that because the investment could hurt initially. Like, if you're investing in a coach, it's like initially like putting up a sum of money without immediately seeing a result. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, like, yes, I believe in it, but like that still doesn't really feel good because I haven't seen the result yet. And then when the results start coming, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll keep
Yeah.
investing in it. It's the same thing with when you want to make changes in your life. You sometimes not sometimes, you have to make changes without seeing the final result. And it could feel uncomfortable and it could feel like different and weird because it is different and it is weird from how you were living your life before. The investment at the end, it's like there's nothing that compares to that.
Yeah. It takes an element of faith and trust in the
And
process.
courage.
And well, yeah. And like how you said with the mindset, if you sit there and tell yourself that something is not going to work for you, then it's not going to work. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you
Yeah.
sit there and you tell yourself, I'm making changes, like small changes are going to add up, your body is going to be way more receptive to actually make those changes. And that's exactly At least for me, that's how it worked. Because I didn't just like, I didn't hit 25, be like, oh my God, I'm miserable. And then sit there and be like, I am the most skinniest and muscle toned woman in the world. No, it didn't work like that. I still had days where I would look in the mirror and be like, you fat piece of shit. Like, no one's ever going to love you. And I'm not saying that to be mean. Like, this was literally how I used to talk to myself. And slowly but surely, it stopped from going from like that to be like, okay, your hair looks nice today. Okay, that's a good color on you. Like, it doesn't have, you don't have to go 0 to 100, but like, even those small little compliments, instead of just like bashing yourself down, will help your body change tremendously and make it receptive to those epigenetic
Yeah,
alterations.
absolutely.
It's okay. I'm okay now.
Mm,
You're like looking at
you
me.
you better be okay now because you've done the freaking work. So it's
No, no, no. Now I look in the mirror and it's like, okay, I built that dump truck. That's great.
and you did.
I did. And that
And you
also,
did.
hey, epigenetics, guys, let's like tie that back in. I am for the ease of this conversation, I'm half Italian and I'm half Hispanic. I did not get the butt gene. I did not get the butt gene. And that's literally what kind of started my fitness journey is I wanted to have a butt because I'm like, I'm Hispanic and I have a pancake. And I do not have a pancake anymore. And that is
This is true.
directly related to epigenetics and choosing to change my lifestyle and lift heavier and eat whole foods and enough whole foods and manage
Yeah.
stress and sleep. Because I never would have had this little like,
No, that's so true. That's so true. It's like sometimes people look at certain physiques, and I'm sure that it's been said about yours, mine, everyone's that like, oh, well, it's probably just genetic. And it's like, all right, I could admit that there are some things genetically, like, yes, on my waist, like bone structure, like, yes, the way that my bones are, my waist is smaller. Like, I don't have a boxier waist. But if you took a look at the glutes 6 years ago, or even take a look at my mom's, like, there's not much happening over there.
you know what like stands out for me on you when I see your progress, like videos and stuff, you're back.
Yeah, this
You
is true.
were like just like your before, you were just kind of like just
I was. I
you're just like a
was.
little like a little parallel lines.
I was. That's literally what it was. And
Yeah,
not to
and now
mention,
you're
like,
like, ooh.
genetically, I was always under the, thank you, but I was always under the assumption and like created the excuse in my head that like bad backs just run in my family. Like bad luck with backs because my mom has back problems and herniated discs. I have herniated discs. Like just like everyone has like something with their back and like bone, and no one lifts heavy weights in my family except for me, that it's like very be careful, don't hurt yourself kind of thing. And then here I am. And it's funny, I made a post about this on my Instagram of like when I did my MRI and got told that I have herniated discs and just like not bad bones, but like not great, and like that problem with my back and problem with this and problem with that. You probably shouldn't lift weights. I was like, yeah, fuck that. Like I'm
Mhm.
not. And imagine I gave into that. Imagine I gave into that of like, oh, like this is just my genetics. Like I just don't have a great back. I just don't have great strength. I just don't have glute muscles. Like I just genetically don't have a butt. Like, can you imagine if I gave into that and didn't go to the gym and didn't try to make a difference because, well, this is just what I got.
No, no. I'm glad you didn't
I
because
would
you
look like
didn't
my before pictures, if not worse.
your little parallel lines, but now you got that hourglass figure. It's funny that you said that
Yay.
too about your disc. Thank you for sharing that because I know other people are going to relate to that. I mean, and Sash, you are young. Like
Yeah,
I
I
can't even
am.
imagine being told at like I don't even how old were you?
I want to say I was like 16 or 17.
And they're like, you have three herniated discs. Like that
Yeah.
would be so scary, not understanding like what that fully meant and the fact that you went ahead and did what you wanted to do for your goals anyway. Like I commend you so much
Yay.
because it's big deal. Having worked on spines and brains for, I don't know, 14, 15 years at this point, like I've seen the worst of the worst. I've also seen that like it's not as bad as like people always make it out to be.
Yeah.
And I remember, what was it, 2 years ago when I went down to Austin, Texas, there's a chiropractor there who's really, really good. I wasn't intending to see a chiropractor. The person I was visiting went to the chiro and I just tagged along and they were like, hey, we have a new patient special. And do you want to get this done? And I was like, well, what the heck? Why not?
Yeah, like I'm here
Yeah.
already. I feel like I need to crack my back
Yeah.
listening about the chiropractor.
Well, I went there and like his setup was great. His practice was great. That was the best chiropractor I've ever been to. Kenji, like shout out, great guy. But he takes the x-rays and I was like, okay, get ready because like you're gonna see I have pretty severe DJD at like 4 or 5. And he's like, oh no, you're young. I'm sure you're fine. You're fine. And literally he pulls the x-ray up and just and I was like, all right, you didn't have to be that dramatic about it. And he's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, you have like no disc. And he's like, aren't you in pain? And I'm like, I'm fine, dude. Like,
Yeah, literally, I'm chilling. I built so much muscle in my back and in my abs that like I'm so good. Like
yeah,
that's my thing is that like 4 or 5 years ago they were like you have no juice in between your discs. Like you should probably have surgery. And I was like, fuck that. Like
yeah,
no, thank you. I
yeah.
will figure out a way.
Well, like if you're fine, if you don't have symptoms, and I think again, bringing in the epigenetics of this, like you said, a lot of your family members don't have the best backs. So can you imagine if, you went at a young age and had surgery and like this is well known in the surgical field and spine surgery. You want to be as conservative as possible and build up if and as you need to as far as surgery goes. So like if your back is hurting, PT first.
Yeah.
PT and not like, oh, I did it for 2 weeks and it didn't work. No, give PT a couple months. Let your back adjust to that movement pattern. That doesn't work. Okay, maybe you qualify for injections. That doesn't work. Okay, maybe you might benefit from a minimally invasive like micro disc or something.
Yeah.
And then you work your way up because once you do like a big spine surgery, like there's nothing else you can do. So for all those people out there that get told genetically, oh, this runs in your family or you have to do this and look at you, look what you created despite that. And I just like I want to advocate hard because how many people are out there leaving all of their potential on the table because they were told this one bullshit thing.
Yeah. That it runs in the family or that this is just what they have or this is how they're again the cards that you were dealt. It's like, all right, yeah, you could have gotten dealt a shitty hand of cards, but you either learn how to play with shitty cards and play a good fucking game because someone could have really great cards and waste them
That's true. Yeah.
because they don't know how to play. Like you put me
And
in a poker game and give me a king, queen, ace. I'm not gonna know what the fuck to do with it. I'm just gonna be like, okay, But this is so it's like you can
yeah.
give someone great cards, and if they don't know what to do with it, they'll put them to waste. So
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep going back to the cards. I really like that analogy.
No, it works. It's a good
It
one.
works.
Yeah.
It
But I think
works.
overall it's just the bottom line is it's fear and like fear will always keep you small. So you had mentioned courage earlier and like finding the courage to try something new and that's really what is going to change your life and your genetic expression. People's listening. Love you guys. We kind of just went off about several different examples of how epigenetics has shown up in our lives or impacted people we know. But to give you guys like a tangible example about like how it shows up in your lives potentially, big one is going to be chronic stress. If that is not addressed or mitigated over time, hands down, period, it's going to cause hormonal disruptions. That's when we're going to start seeing some negative changes in genetic expressions. Sash mentioned it under eating, like with her friend. If that doesn't get addressed over time, that's going to cause metabolic adaptations. And what that basically means is your metabolism is going to stall because your body is now in survival mode and you're not going to be able to lose any fat, even if you're eating sub 1,000 calories. Just
Which
won't help out.
please do not do that for
Don't
the
do
love
that.
of God. And if you are in that position, please reach out to a coach, whether it's Mandy, whether it's myself, whether it's to someone else, and get your shit together. Thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you. And some other examples are gut dysfunction And I think some people get in denial about this. They're like, everybody farts. Yeah, but like, are you farting to the point where it's disrupting your everyday life and it's hurt and it's painful and it's smelly and like you don't want to go out in social situations because you don't know what to eat and order? Like, if you said yes to any of the above, that's gut dysfunction. And if you leave that unaddressed for too long, it will cause inflammation. It is going to affect your neurotransmitters, which will affect your mood and your hormones. And that could lead to a faux diagnosis of depression. I've seen it time and
Yeah.
time again. People with gut dysfunction, and I'm not saying that they're not depressed or they don't feel depressed, but your gut is going to influence your emotions. Fix your gut, and that depression is probably going to go away.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Quite
So,
literally.
yeah, literally, I've seen it time and again. So, if you have gut dysfunction, don't sleep on that one. Get that one addressed quickly. And then a couple other ones are poor sleep. That's another big one.
So sleep
And
on that. Sleep on
don't
more sleep. Don't sleep on the gut dysfunction, but sleep on the sleep.
sleep on the sleep.
Get a
Sleep real
lot of sleep.
hard.
Yeah, real hard.
Yeah. And the last one I want to bring up and talk about is one that I think does not get the recognition it deserves. Feeling supported, feeling safe, feeling like you have a regulated nervous system. I think that one doesn't get talked about enough because sometimes people might be in denial about thinking that they feel safe because they've only known what living in fight or flight is like their whole life. So they don't recognize that, like, oh, actually, I don't feel safe and I don't know what safety feels like. I know that chaos, I know what that feels like, and that's predictable. But if you can't get your body into a more downregulated, safer feeling space, it's not going to respond as readily if you keep staying up here and living in a activated state. So
Yeah.
overall, like your body is going to respond to what you do most often, not just once. Like you can't just start a new diet and exercise for like 2 weeks and then like fall off and like, no, change needs time and dedication and commitment and all that good jazz. So, again, if you guys pull anything from this, just know that you have so much more power than one, you've been led to believe, and two, more power than you know that you have. Tap into it, change your life. Don't settle for, oh my God, I'm just going to be unhappy. Me at 25 being like, oh my God, is this my life? What the fuck? Don't settle.
No. 25, 35, 55, it doesn't matter. Like you could turn your life around at any given point.
Anytime. It's a good point. At any age, too. Epigenetics isn't just for people that are younger or people in their 30s.
No.
No, you could be 60 and you can apply the principles of epigenetics and changing your life and changing your health. Or what's that one influencer who, Joan? Is it Joan? Is her name Joan? I think she's this older lady. I want to say she's like in her 70s. And
And she goes to the gym and is always working out and like posting like her like workout. She's like biceps or
and
something.
yeah, and in like a bikini or bathing suit. But she started working out in like her late 60s or something. And she
Wow.
looks so
I
good.
feel like I've seen her before. She sounds familiar.
Yeah. And I'm like, Jesus, she did that. She did that. She did. She made a choice, guys.
She made a choice. She chose to choose how she wants to live her life. She chose to choose a different life. Oh my God,
Shit.
this was so good.
This
This
was
was
a
so
good
good.
episode. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this one, or if you guys have questions about like what is epigenetics as far as like how does it apply to your life, or if you have scenarios that you are a little bit interested in, Sasha and I are always welcome to having these conversations. And in the show notes, we'll have our Instagram pages linked so you can reach out anytime. Go ahead and also check out Sculpt Sessions. New ones drop every Sunday, and she's got a good one coming up for you guys as well. So look out for that one. If you're
Yeah.
listening on YouTube, give us a like. If you're listening on Spotify, please rate 5 stars. I love you forever if you do this.
Trying to draw a
Pretty
star.
please. Yeah,
How do I make
yeah.
stars? I don't know. Stars.
Sasha throwing up gang signs all over.
I'm trying to make a star.
Well, either way, guys, we appreciate you tuning in every single week with us. Stay tuned for a new episode next Monday, and we'll see you then.